So I don't know if you guys have been on the internet at all recently, but there's this show on Netflix called Tiger King that's been blowing up just a little bit lately. It is the most popular show on Netflix at the moment and has been for the past like 2 weeks. People are making videos about it, writing articles about it, and scenes from the show are now being used as meme formats. Now that's how you know you've made it. People love this show, and I mean, I see why. It's a crazy story, like there's not really much else to say about it. But people love it, which is why I know it's not the best idea to say what I'm about to say. I wasn't a huge fan. I will admit though that that is absolutely my fault. First of all, I'm not a big documentary guy. I don't have anything against them. I think they're fine pieces of entertainment, but I just never really watched them that much, you know? And secondly, I never would have watched this show if it wasn't popular. I never heard about this story before, and it was never really an interest for me at all. So if other people weren't already talking about this show, I never would have watched it, like, honestly. So basically, I have everything going against me at this point. But I don't think my lack of interest in this show is entirely my fault, because people are blowing this show way out of proportion. People are like, dude, it's the craziest thing ever, like, I can't even believe it's real, it's absolutely wild. And like, yeah, the story is crazy, don't get me wrong there, but I can 100% believe that, you know, it happened. Well, it didn't really happen. It's kind of in the process of happening, which, I mean, that's pretty cool, and I'll get into that later. But it's really just the hype that got me. The show was disappointing to me because it was nowhere near as interesting as people were making it seem. I expected some wild stuff, and some wild stuff definitely happens, but I expected more of it. Another issue that I have with this show is that I feel like it's just too long. There were a lot of moments when I was just sitting there like, I get it, okay? Can we pick it up, please? I feel like this show would work better as one single documentary instead of several different episodes. Or just decreasing the number of episodes would also work, so instead of 7, make it maybe like 3 or 4. I just feel like certain things dragged on, like spoilers, I guess. Honestly, it's amazing if you don't know about this yet. But we spent an entire episode on how this woman's husband went missing, and I'm like, look, I get it. You want to give us all the details, and you want to be as thorough as possible. But do we really need to spend 40 minutes on this one thing? The show just felt slow, and I feel like it dragged in a lot of places, and I feel like it could have been a lot shorter than it was. But now that I'm done with my wah-wah crying moments, let's get into some of the good stuff. The main character, Joe Exotic, he's a big ol' meme, and I'm a big fan of it. He is quite the character. I mean, he owns 300 tigers, and he threatens to murder a lady on, you know, more than one occasion. He's bound to be a little eccentric, but he's just wild, and that leads to someone who's interesting to watch as long as you're not in the same room as him. Also, this TV producer guy, Rick Kirkham, he has a funny voice. That's all I have to say about him. Also, there's this guy who just, like, always has a monkey hanging on him. Like, almost every time he's on camera, there's a monkey on him, and I like monkeys, so I like that. But the biggest thing that I find interesting about this show is that it's still going on. Like, usually when you watch a documentary, there's that element of like, well, that happened a long time ago, or that happened in a different country that's like on the other side of the world for me, so it doesn't like feel real, if that makes any sense. But this story is very recent, and it's in the US, which is where I reside. So the fact that this story isn't completely resolved, and it's kind of having real world consequences, is pretty cool. Like, there's this sheriff in some town. I do my research. But this sheriff has been asking for leads on what happened to this woman's husband because he went missing in like the 90s, and no one really knows like what happened to him. Like, for example, is he dead? Was he kidnapped? Did he just kind of leave? No one is too sure. So this show has sort of caused that cold case to be reopened, which, I mean, that's kind of sick. People are also making petitions online to free the Tiger King, which honestly I'm not sure that's the best idea because, I mean, he seems kind of dangerous. I mean, you know, who am I to judge, but like, But this story feels very real, and it's causing people to talk about this guy, and it's causing real world, like, stuff. So that's something that I personally find very interesting about this show. Honestly, I kind of feel bad that I didn't really like this show that much because the show has everything going for it. It's a wild story and it's filmed in an interesting way. Like, they have footage from a very long time ago. The show's got good reviews. It's doing well, but I didn't care for it that much. Sad. But tell me what you guys think of this show. Did you absolutely adore it like everyone else? Or were you know, kind of like me, and you weren't a huge fan? Let me know what you think down in the comments. Feel free to make fun of me down there as well, if you're in the mood for that. I apologize for having a difference of opinion. I'm aware that that is a sin. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to leave a like. If you didn't, leave a dislike. Do whatever you want. I can't really stop you. My name's Quibs, and I haven't fully figured out a new outro yet.